You've probably seen these ads all over Instagram. Flashy little heads-up displays that claim to turn your car into a fighter jet cockpit. But are these any good, or is this just another TEMU dropship? Today I've bought one of those units, and in this video we're going to unbox it, install it, and then take it out for a drive to find out if it's legit or just complete junk.
So here's one being sold for £53 that popped up on my Instagram feed. It's got all the usual tricks, including a flashy website with a countdown timer and of course glowing reviews. But the exact same unit is here on TEMU. Can you tell the difference? On TEMU it's £11 and on this website they're selling it for a whopping £53. So I decided to buy one straight from TEMU.
Alright, here's what's in the box. We've got the HUD itself, an OBD2 cable, a sticky dash pad, and a fairly basic instruction manual. So now holding the unit, it does feel quite cheap. It's plastic. I mean, it feels like what you'd expect for around £10. I certainly wouldn't be happy if I paid more than £30 for this.
So what is an OBD2 HUD and why should it be more reliable than a GPS one? Let's break it down. OBD2 stands for Onboard Diagnostics version 2. It's a standardized plug found in pretty much every car from the early 2000s and onwards. This HUD here connects to that port and pulls live data straight from the car, like your speed, RPMs, battery voltage, coolant temp, and more.
Unlike some other heads-up displays, this one doesn't use GPS. It actually connects to your car and reads the speed from the car. So in theory, it should be very accurate. The first thing we need to do is plug this cable under the steering wheel there. So we'll just find it by sitting here, and I can see in the Vantage, it's just right here. Now all we need to do is plug this cable in here, and with the car ignition on, it should all boot up. Right, it seems to have worked. It's now showing my miles per hour, which is of course 0 because we're not moving.
For the cable, I've just threaded it here up the side and then I've stuck the box on the dash, which will reflect onto the window. It's looking a little blurry parked here, but perhaps it'll get better once we're driving.
Right, so now we're all set up and ready to go for the first drive. Let's see if this thing actually works and if it can keep up with the speed of the Vantage.
So here we are driving on a very sunny day, and surprisingly I can still see the heads-up display under that really strong sun. I honestly thought it would completely disappear. Now it's quite faint and we are losing it a little to the sky here, and it's really not as defined or clear like a proper factory fitted heads-up. It will be interesting to see when we test this later in the video when the sun goes down. I'm hoping it will be much clearer and much easier to see. It seems to be keeping up to the speed, but it looks like it's about 1 or 2 miles faster or slower at times. If you look at the two, you can compare and see it's slightly out. So here we are now in town, driving directly into the sun. It's super bright and the HUD is getting really lost as expected. It is, after all, only a reflection that's pushed onto the windscreen. Now we're driving at more speed, right into the sun, and the HUD is getting completely lost in the sky. You can only really see it here when it sits on the darker trees. Right, it's now much later in the day and it's darker, the sun has started to set and the heads-up display is showing so much clearer. It's okay, but I'll be honest, as I'd feared, the numbers just aren't crisp enough and it looks a bit blurry. I'm actually starting to find it a little bit distracting, which is not good. Is it just me too, or is it looking a bit huge? Perhaps because it's new, it's drawing my eye more, but to me this is really big and it's starting to get a bit distracting, especially going around this roundabout. Here are some more clips now of the heads-up display in the evening at its best, so you can see it in action.
So what's my final verdict on these? Should you pick one up? Well, to be honest, For £10, you can't really go wrong, but it does have its flaws. Obviously, having it set up here with the cable going down, you could spend some time to really thread this cable in, but there's still going to be a cable there, and I don't like the idea of constantly having a cable plugged into my ODB port. Another negative for me really is I thought it was a little bit blurry on the screen. I've driven cars with built-in factory-fitted heads-up displays and you get this lovely crisp number, whereas with this I just couldn't get it to get 100% in focus. There was always a slight blur and it was a little bit distracting while driving. On a positive note though, it was quite accurate with my speed. Now, I'm a bit confused why it's not mimicking the exact speed here if it's taking the data from the car. I found it to be a couple of miles over or under, which is a bit annoying, but it's really close, so it's not too bad. I mean, if you want to take an older car and add a heads-up display, this could be really cool. So should you buy one? Well, it's a tough call really. I mean, £10 is barely anything, so give it a go if you want. I personally am not going to keep this in the car because I don't like the idea of having cables run in, and also as well, it's a device from China from £10 plugged into my port in my car, which is a little bit sketchy. I don't want it to cause any electrical gremlins or issues because they could be really expensive, but I saw this on Instagram, I saw how much people were charging for it and thought, I've got to try this, I've got to expose it to you guys so you see what it's like. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I will leave a link in the description below for the TEMU where I bought this from, but as with everything with TEMU, this could suddenly disappear and reappear. So look out for these, there's hundreds of them available. Do not pay over £10 for it though. Thank you so much for watching guys, I'll see you next time.